Hey, good morning. Welcome to Sunday morning coffee. There was a bit of stuff in the way. I was just looking at there going, please work this morning. It was doing the going live spin for ages, but there we are. Not 3 minutes, I'm just a bit late. I've got coffee. I'm in the living room today. I've got the washing machine on. And while it is a brand new washing machine provided by the landlords, bless them, do not bless them. It was only because it finally absolutely exploded that they replaced it. But anyway, it's quieter than the other one, but still don't really want to sit next to a washing machine doing its thing. So hello, welcome along. I'm going to be a little shorter than usual. I say that. Getting picked up. Is that charging? That's not even charging. This tablet's quite tricksy. Let's turn that off there. So I'm getting picked up at 11ish. I'm off to help friends move house, so I'm squeezing a live stream in, get me all comfy there. And I was supposed to sort yesterday, but my body keeps failing. Yay! So I've got some cool stuff. To show you, to tell you about. So where shall we start? I don't have notes. I should probably have notes this week, but I do not. How are you all doing? Right. So first up, I got some ghouls. From Skiore Miniatures, who I'm a big fan of, partly because they're one of the other few people that are still doing hand sculpted hand cast, which is my favourite, and they're very leaning into it. I think he is doing a bit of STL as well, but he's still got all these. Thanks, Gary. Sutton Who was the best. The last stream, I've gone into that, so you could always watch that after. I can't remember if you were there last week or not, but if not. So Skiore is actually someone I don't know personally, despite him being a big supporter. I don't know if he even knows who I am. But I got his ghouls from the latest Kickstarter. You'll never be able to see him on this, but again, here's a little gist of them all. I love them. Wow, focus. Get the idea. There, look, ghouls. Got some ghouls. They're just really cool. Also, two of them look like they're kind of drunk guys going away, away. I can't remember which two. Is it these two? Oh. There's quite a few ways of making these ghouls hug, actually. So look at these guys. So they were from one of their latest horror Kickstarters. And whilst I don't buy that many minis, I went, ghouls though. I have to get ghouls. How do they compare size-wise, Turkey Man? Well, actually, I do have a Turkey Man here, but I can't remember exactly where. Is he there? Oh, crap. It involves standing up and looking, but Turkey Man's pretty big. These are quite big, but Turkey Man probably goes up to about there. I think he's a large boy. Here we go. So, it was only this Monday that I streamed. So I've got some ghouls. They all come with these fancy bases, a little bit like Fenris does as well. So you get the normal bases and then the little runic bit on top, which is cool. It is, you're never a few feet away from the Turkey Man. I've got one here because I want to paint him up for Trench Crusade. Yes, he'd be a very good leader. I also got this fella that I think was a stretch. I think it was one of the added in. I can't remember choosing him, but he's very cool. Again, can't really see, but it's this guy. You might hear guinea pigs in the background. But I also, I don't know why I've got the ole ole stuck in my head, but I wish it would go feeling hat like that. So I also did add on in the pledge manager this bust. It's a cool bust. See that? Revenant guy. I just thought it was cool. What was I going to say about Skiore? Skiore has actually inspired me. They were the first company I found back as a child that were doing whimsical stuff. So I remember finding the website, and the dwarves were one of the big pulls, the lady dwarves, because I just thought they were really cool, and I hadn't really seen many lady dwarf figures at that point. It's like, wow, look what they do. And Also, they did a lot of the sort of vignette stuff, which then inspired my vignette stuff. And it was things like there was one I got and I never painted it, but I loved it. And it was a dwarf and a don't know if he still does it, but it was a dwarf and a goblin sort of like caressing by a rock, but having like a little embrace. And that was the sort of thing where I was like, oh, this can be done. You don't have to just do troops. And he does like Christmas decorations that have got like little faces in them and all this sort of stuff. So big fan of Skiore, big fan of supporting what I like. It's that buy the thing you like and more of the thing you like will be made. So these have arrived. So that is cool. Other things that have arrived. Gary, you have not missed the mug reveal. It's The Walking Dead. In honor of Louis Downs, who owns the casting company that we use. He has officially finished watching all of The Walking Dead. So, and it's also very good. So if he does end up watching this, to Louis, may we toast you with Negan there. I've made there's less milk than I normally put in these. I'll have to drink a normal coffee. We've also got on the other side of the cup, we've got Negan and Carl there as well. So that's that. So Friday, I actually went to the pub, which is a rarity, and I got quite drunk. But before that, I was in town and I went across to the Oxfam bookshop, which is very good. I got myself some secondhand books. None are related to what I'm doing at the moment, but that's what it is. Women and Children of the Gut. So about women and children on the canal boat life, the working canal boat life, as obviously it was a whole lifestyle mixed with work, all that sort of stuff. Some cool old photos there. So something that, you know, right now is of no use, but at some point they're going to be some cool minis. It's got some nice stuff. Hey, we've got Mr. Tara there of Mangling Minis. So yeah, I'm not necessarily going to do like a Kickstarter of canal boat people, but I say this now, maybe I will. It's just stuff, yeah. Again, I'm really into actual printed books to try and get more references to things before AI entirely engulfs the internet. So I got that. I got Daughters of a Copperwoman, which I actually started reading in the pub before my mate turned up. And it's, where are we? Anne Cameron's retelling of legends guarded by the Nootka women of Vancouver Island. They speak of the first woman, how she gave birth to the first man, and time when people lived almost as they were intended. So it's the, what's the correct word? Historical series of these folk. And I like that the first man was actually called Snot Boy. So that was kind of cool. It was a nice little read. So I got through a chunk of it, and it's again stories being passed on. Probably wouldn't do anything with that because it's entirely not my culture and I know nothing about it. But it's just interesting to know. Classic man name, Snot Boy. And also, I keep looking at this in the shop. And thinking, because it's the precursor, obviously, the white ship sinking begins the Battle of the Matildas, effectively, and I keep seeing this getting good reviews and stuff, and went, there it is, and it's £3. £3. So even though it's not woman related, it looks like a nice holiday read. Says I'm going to be on the beach somewhere. Maybe I'll have a holiday. So we got, Gary has asked, how is Pig settling in? Too well. There is pig reveal on the last episode as well. Denise, so it turns out Denise is quite a, what's the polite word? Troublemaker. She's absolutely adorable. We all thought she was a very gentle and meek pig. And she's not. She's a troublemaker, but she's very funny, and I love her so much already. But she's mostly just chases Dave around, which is brilliant. So he's like, "Oh, thank you for getting me this submissive wife." And then after a couple of days, she's basically like got the rolling pin, rambunctious, chasing them around. So you can hear various Don't know if that carries across. You can hear various growls and at the moment because she's chasing him around. So she's fitting really well. They're having a lovely time. Dave feels 3 years younger, he said. So that's all been really nice. It's nice to hear guinea pigs again. Because they've been very quiet. Carol was very quiet. Dave kind of copies whoever's there. So it hasn't been very sort of weepy in the house for a while. Karen was also getting, because they kind of get old and they just can't be bothered doing all this weaking nonsense. And now we've got a young pig again, and she's weak, and Dave's copying her, so it's just noise all the time, which is really nice actually. So yeah, little weepy piglies over there. So that is good. That's all good. Oh, wobbling this. It's where my tea is. My coffee. I feel like Snot Boy is something that Mangling Minis would sculpt. So there you go. So I've got some books, got some cool stuff. Suppose I'd better talk about Bad Squiddo. What have we been doing in the world of Bad Squiddo? That's Denise. That's not, I was thinking, is that Dave or Denise? That's Denise. So I'm making some really good, you hear that? She's bullying you. They're so cute. Yay, here's Katie, who I may be seeing later. That's the point. I should be unprofessional and check my phone. I could pretend I was looking at something else. Okay. But I do have photos to show you actually. Let's turn that down. So the first batch of sculpts, Kate is recovering from yesterday. It's okay, I'm reinforcements today. I've slept 1 trillion hours. It's this house move that I'm helping out with. That I did feel really bad yesterday because I got myself like spent all morning going, right, we can do this, and then my back gave in, and I was like, and then slept till now. But I've slept more than any human should sleep, and I should be all good. So I'm gonna go and do that after this stream. But yeah, reinforcements. Hyped. I said to Andy, oh, I get to do exercise and socialization. It's basically enrichment. What has Dave done wrong? Existed as a man. Now is the matriarchy resumes in the household. So the first batch of sculpts is now with casters, has been assessed by me, and will be cast and hopefully in the hands of me and my painter next week. There's some silhouettes of them all. Oh, and a double reflection. Oh, they're so good. I was going to go fully across. There's Odette. Oh yeah, I can do that. There we are. Let's go from one side to the other. So this is who we've got so far. There's more, but I still need to finish the briefs. So we've got Freddie Oversteegen from Denmark. Not Denmark. The Netherlands. Zoya. Eva. Truce. Pearl. Odette. Anne. Hanny. And Iro. And then there's also Hans and Sophie who've already been cast into resin, and Vera and Simone that will be going into metal with those, and a whole bunch of others that we need. Still got some gaps, so we've got no Belgium, we've got no Italy, gonna have a bit more France. I want a few more to get in there. There's potentially will be some to be unlocked in the Kickstarter. I'm gonna do it really straight up, rather than do like an encore going, oh, will we unlock, when I very much want to unlock them all. So as far as I know, everything's going to be unlocked, as in like if the unlocks are going to be real basically. And I don't mind admitting that a lot of time the unlocks aren't real because they're never real. Most of the time, people have these made to keep the momentum going, which is totally valid. But I've really noticed how nobody really checks once a Kickstarter's begun. So the level of sales between figures that are out at the start of the Kickstarter and ones that get unlocked, the unlocks are nowhere near it because people don't see them. And then when they go to the pledge manager, it's kind of like, oh yeah, I'll just get what I pledged. So I'm going to have them all available, and then anything that is unlocked will be things that, you know, we have gone, crap, this is going better than expected. I can get Alan to get a few more made. So they'll end up being little sketches or something along the way. So that's exciting. So I want to get as many sort of ready at the start, which I think is important. Of bits, so hopefully they can be so with the painter, I might chuck a couple of painters in just to speed it up and get some alt paint jobs, because then I want to do some mega photo shoots, and time is ticking now, and it's all my fault because I went, oh, I've got loads of time, and now I don't, because it's going to be the 27th of August. And there's no link in the thing, there should be, but just put Bad Squiddo Kickstarter and it will bring up at least my Kickstarter profile, and it'll be on there as and it's like Bad Squiddo Kickstarter anti-fascist, but I'll put a link in next week. But I've linked it everywhere on the other social media. I'm thinking, even though I've not really got any stretch goals, I might do 2 weeks, so there's more time to spam it and try and do some interviews and things around, because I really need it to go well. I've been watching a few GoFundMes recently, and I kind of thought I really should have done one when I moved. It was a legitimate reason, because that move has just like created this domino effect of doom throughout the year. So everything's been extra hard. Now I'm like, probably should have done that, because that was out of my control and awful. And now it's passed. I'm like, can I do a retrospective one? Like, the move got me in loads of debt, and I'd like to be out of it. But maybe the Kickstarter will do really well. Hopefully, it better do. So, because I've got these free collaborations as well. I've kind of put everything into this. So I don't know if I've said anywhere that I will be. Oh, my legs are dead. Oi! Diaper Goblin, been home to see you on drugs for a while. They were gonna do it like a year ago, and then it never happened. So I don't know. It would be ace to go on there. I would love to go on there. But I don't know. I don't know what happens with that, with the schedule. I guess they've just been busy. But yeah, I want to go on as soon as I go on any of these large stream. The amount of people, it's just so important. But I also don't want to be there going, like, sort of nagging people, going, please, you can make or break my life with a little thing, please. Oh god, I was going to cry there. Please. Because I got mentioned on Tabletop Minions in the week. That was very nice. In a bittersweet, yay, I've mentioned, oh god damn you, Turkey Man, always Turkey Man. But it's fine, it's really funny actually. So Turkey Man got a little shout out because a million people messaged and went, Turkey Man. My Turkey Man sales haven't boosted since then, but I'm sure people are just waiting. But yeah, the power of larger influencers is enormous, and I go between, like, not heavily, but trying to get some people to mention, even in like a 2-minute segment, to go in, it's okay, Annie, they'll never cover you, just do it without. And then maybe somebody else might get mentioned. I'm like, oh, there is the potential. So there was a big one recently, had mentioned Knucklebones, who's a local chap. And went, oh, he's actually been noticed, because a lot of times where sort of larger streamers will do, here's some alternatives to GW. The alternatives are also massive companies. They're like, check out these small companies such as Star Wars Shatterpoint. They're like, yeah. They're not quite small, so it was cool to see Brain Knucklebones get a little shout out. It's like we're all there in a little like shallow pool or something, going, please, folks with actual followers. So yes, oh, my legs. I'm going to be a bit more proactive with the Kickstarter as well. On doing, sorry to notice a dead leaf on my monstera there. Going to be more proactive with the Kickstarter in getting press releases sent to people. I said about last week how I'm involved in the Trench Crusade Kickstarter, and doing that, a lot. No, the Trench Crusade project that hasn't been announced what it will be yet. That's me done. The being involved in that is kind of because I put more effort. What was something about put more effort into things that aren't mine. Because it's a bit like apparently like if you look after someone else's kid, you look after their kid more than you would your own. So stuff I've been doing with that, I want to bring into Bad Squiddo and go, come on, Annie, you can do this. Because it's that like if it's me, I've just got me to let down. But if I'm working with Trench Crusade and John Hodgson and they do a terrible job, I've let both of them down and I should just walk into the sea. So it's that sort of thing. What have I got in there? Got a bunch of people there. Hello. I'm also keeping an eye on the time. I've got, I think, 11. I'm getting picked up. Let me look at my little. Not had a confirm, but I believe I'm ready to go. I'm ready to go. So yeah, that's it. My brain. Somebody notice me is the theme of it all. I'm going to be spamming as many different sort of news folk as I can from next week. I think I need to get us, it gets sort of super set up. I've been in a bit of a meh for the last few weeks. I don't know if it's shown in my shows or not, but I'm hoping that my mojo's kind of come back the end of this week, and hopefully by tomorrow I'll be in a way better. Like, let's just do it. I've had a whole bunch of health crap, and the heat has made everything worse. And then it makes the mojo a lot lower because I think I said that the don't know where I was going. Diaper Goblin said, if you're to get some news coverage, you want to talk about how the Trump tariffs are affecting your business. That's a double-edged sword because I was quite vocal about the new legislation with Europe, and all that happened was that everyone in Europe stopped buying from me. So if I'm vocal about how the Trump tariffs are now going to be terrible for shipping to America, all the Americans are just going to not buy from me. This is what we're dealing with at the moment, which is just like, I talk about things a lot more because that's what I do. I can't really keep secrets in that sense. So it's an absolute godsend how I managed to keep the Trench Crusade thing a secret. Just pure professionalism. But it always seems to backfire on me, and I'm always torn between all of this. So it'll just be stuck in people's heads of like, oh, Bad Squiddo can't ship to America. And then America, like Europe was a massive market, and losing that, like I still get European orders, but it's a rarity. Whereas it used to be a lot of my orders, and now America's always been a huge percentage of the orders. If that becomes them, America's going, oh no, Bad Squiddo said that there's all these tariffs if you buy from it. I'm like, no, it's the same as everyone else, but it's too late because they've seen a few worded blue sky post or something like that, and that's it. So I don't want like an overreaction panic from the Americans. I'm hoping, so I've been keeping my eye on it. I haven't fully looked into it because I get obsessed over these legislations and they distract me from other stuff. And as far as I know, it's going to be from next month or from the end of this month, basically. If you're in America and you order from the UK, it may be 10% on top when it arrives, which isn't the worst. It sucks, and I wish it wasn't a thing. But as all of the other tariffs and things go, it's okay. But then it also might not be affected if it's direct through Royal Mail. So there's a few things like that to check out. And it sent the GSPR last year sent me into a whole spiral obsessing over it and ended up not being too bad. But by that point, everyone had assumed it's bad, assumed it's super bad and stopped ordering. So it's been us me going, oh, I'm doing all right, actually. I'm like, oh, watch me spiral live about how terrible it is currently running a business. The bonus to America is I've got more American retailers, I think, than I've got across Europe. I need some more European retailers. And Badger Games stock everything. They take everything. So they haven't stopped ordering since their tariffs have gone up because it's the £800 barrier that's being lifted. That's the latest news, is that it used to be if your order was under £800, there's no tariffs. So it still affect trade orders because they tend to order a lot because that's, part of what it is because you're restocking a shop. So it's all de minimis, that's it. So it's already affected the shops, and luckily they've still been ordering. Um, so at least this won't change it for them. So maybe they'll get more business, and I'm still shipping a load to them. So it's a sort of thing where it's actually really terrible, but for once I'm gonna just not not talk about it because I just keep shooting myself in the foot. And it looks like, yeah, it looks like I'm crapper than everyone else, but I just talk about it being a bit crap sometimes. I don't know. Um, I should talk about something more positive, to be fair. She says, laughing away, going, everything is awful. I lost half a day this week because I had to have the house inspection. We have quarterly house inspections, um, where they come and, yeah, come and inspect the house. And it's so demeaning because they just take a million photographs. Um, barely like they don't look at the they don't look at the areas they should be looking at. They just take a million photographs, and they're not close-ups. They're close-ups. They're like all the different angles of every room, so you can see all of your stuff. And it's just really like, is that necessary? And it's like, we're here to make sure every few months that you're not soiling this house that we enter you with for loads of money. You're like, oh, cheers. I feel really valued. I feel really valued here. Um, and then they give you the feedback form, and it said that the house was kept fairly tidy. I'm like, okay, fairly. So I've been saying to Andy all week, in our fairly tidy house, it's just horrible. And that we've been there a long time, and the house is nice. I think it's actually rather nice. Mm-mm. But that was half a day of the like, am I still allowed to rent this house, please? Oh gods. Um, So with that, I should probably talk about something cool instead of just going everything's rubbish. Not all rubbish. So yes, they should not be doing that. Yeah, they're just there going, oh, I've got that book. No, don't look at my things. Like, there's nothing wrong with my things. There's nothing. Well, there's nothing weird. She says there's lots of weird little posters and stuff. Um, there's even a little sign on the toilet about what is it? It's a weird, creepy toilet, like the toilets being creepy. They always photograph that. They're probably just evict us on being weirdos, I think. Things have gone quite quiet. Bleh. So what will be happening is I'm going to be, yes, hopefully ramping up. All the shares are appreciated for this project because I'm going to be using the word Nazis and fascism. And funnily enough, all of the social medias push all of those to the bottom. So I'm going to really be against it with the algorithms, but I'm not putting N star ZI. I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it. So hopefully it will be fine. I've said before that it is the most difficult time it has been at the moment. Absolutely, for expenditure and lack of inature, lack of income and larger outgoings. Has really sucked, and that's part of why I've been a bit miserable because it's just getting. I said before, it's getting tougher and tougher, and it's supposed to get easier as you go along. Um, and it's what we got? Yeah, it's not. It's getting tougher, which is like, hang on, that's the wrong way around. And again, it's not that I suck. It's that everything's really hard for small business, and people just don't say, because if you do say, then yeah, then people go, oh, you suck. You suck, I guess. I'm actually gonna move my legs. Got a dead leg. I've got some cool news. I should talk about cool news rather than just going, oh, things have been a bit rubbish at the moment. Or then you get people going, yes, you I don't know. Let me drink some coffee. That will be all fine. Mm-hmm. The Kickstarter will put me back on top, hopefully. So I'm very excited about it. I'm very excited to tell the stories. I was telling a lot of the stories of the various resistance fighters in the pub on Friday, which was cool. And people were pretending to be intrigued. There you go. So that will be, say, 27th of August, probably 2 weeks. I'm going to really let it run. And just get that spread everywhere. So yeah, I should probably go because I've got to get my boots on and go do some house moving shenanigans. I don't want to go into a rant. I was going into a bit of a rant. I need something positive. What positive? Dave, any positives? Are you eating? Are you eating with your new wife? He's got his new wife. Anything else to show? I'm sure I've got other things to show you that are cool. Oh yeah, the who would win, Pearl Witherington or Turkey Man? Dun dun dun. It's definitely Pearl. Um, Oh, it just reminded me. Yes, I had a little visit in the week. That was nice. I think I just don't see as many people at the moment. That's probably bothering me because I'm just going to a little spiral. So it was nice to see Curtis and young Fergus came up one of the days. That was nice. So Curtis from Ramshackle and Fergus, who is studying model making, and he's been learning some stuff, like learning how to cast at Curtis's. So they came over, and I got to see what was going on. And it was really nice talking to him about the difference between a company like mine, where it's it's cleaner, and a company like Curtis, where he does everything. So, so Curtis casts and can you hear that? Curtis casts and sculpts, so has everything there. Whereas I make orders. Um, oh, I'm not moving. I'm not moving. I'm helping some friends move. It's my karma for getting people to help me move. I will not be moving. What was I going to say? Something. Brain. My brain's going him going. The moves to the couch. Good. Well, I'm like down on the floor, but it means I get dead legs, so I have to keep doing that. But what was I going to say before I go? Young Fergus. Yes, the so in the way that I do the what's it? I do the design and a lot of the management-y bits. I then I get other people to do my dirty work basically. So when people go, "Oh, this is a much cleaner office," they're like, "Yeah, it's because I'm not casting." It's not because they're monsters. As soon as you start casting, it just stuff becomes everywhere. So yeah, so teaching him the different ways of doing things that it's not the manufacturing isn't happening at mine, so it can have little pots of flowers and stuff. So that was really nice. Jade says, "We're very grateful for the help. Come get me. I'm ready." So as soon as I have ended this, I've just got to brush my teeth and then I'm ready to go. So go, 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 go. Are you in Nottingham now? I've got a dead foot. I'll need to limp to the car for the dead foot. So yeah, I didn't mean to get into a like everything's rubbish, but that's kind of how my brain's been for the last few weeks. So that's what the show is me going the ups and downs, or the downs and downs of running a small business. So as always, really grateful for you coming along. Grateful for any sort of like little messages and buying stuff on the website. There is what's it? Brain. Payday. Apparently it's been payday. So that's good. Oh yeah, the ups, the absolute ups. I think because I had my upstream on Monday, this is the downstream. On Monday, from seeing those kids at Sutton Hoo just be so excited by wargaming and painting my minis, that was the absolute like, this is why I do it. And I love it. I do love it. And they're now pleading, I love it, I swear. I just want things to be a little easier. That's all, just a little easier. And there's that comparison thief of joy because you look online. I'm like, well, all these companies are now getting bigger properties and all that sort of stuff. Like, what's it? All this. Everyone's growing apart from me, but I am, and I'm doing it in my own way. That's the important bit. Very important that I am sticking to my own guns and all that sort of stuff. And I'm hoping to then show people that you can do that you can still stick to all. And that's not saying that anyone who's doing better than me is like selling out or anything. But I know that sometimes I think, I could do these various things that are a bit immoral and then I would speed up, but I don't want to do that. So I'm glad to struggle. Cyber Goblin says, at least your growth isn't being held up by a single bat. That is true. I didn't put the bat there, I swear. There is a little bat holding up a GW, bless them. I'm glad that they've not just like pummeled through the bat at least. Um, some say it's a guinea pig with little bat wings, but I deny those accusations. A little bat, just leave the little bat have his warehouse. Oh. Yeah, had it been a single pig, I would have been there like chains to the building, going yes, can. I did meet a bunch of GW people in the pub on Friday, actually. It happens a lot around these times. I've got a photo. I'm never sure about whether I'm allowed to post photos in case it gets them in trouble. They're like, you've been fraternizing with bad Squiddo. Maybe. But yeah, in my roundy up bit where I go, it's actually okay. I don't hate it. I love it really. Especially if you're a new viewer and you're like, bloody hell, Annie's all right, miserable. No, I'm woo. I should go. I've got my legs nearly undead. Gonna go and be reinforcements for this move where I'm like really weak and rubbish, but I'm enthusiastic, and that's what matters. So next week it'll be a whole heap of please share all of my resistance thingamies. I've got some really nice photos of each sculpt now as well, which means that I can start doing some write-ups with some little illustrations. I can get Marty to maybe do a bit more art based on them. Really start getting my summer of resistance beginning, which is ace, and I will get the rest of the designs because there's a few that are kind of gone. They were on my list to make, and then I either couldn't find enough information or it was a bit of a dead end. So I'm going, you may have to be postponed now or swap for someone else. So I need to go through and get a few more people to make minis of. That's it. I'm gonna go. Thanks, come along. I know I said it'll be half an hour. I'm like, oh, good. But yeah, Jade is on the way. Jade is on the way. Her namesake and likeness was at Sutton Hoo as well in Eternal. Right, I'll see you all later. Thank you. Go buy stuff from the shop. That'd be ace. Go do that. That'll help. Bye. Oh yeah, I had some mega restocks as well before I go. So if there's stuff that you didn't have that you're thinking, she hasn't had that on the shop for a while, I have. But all the mega restocks have arrived whilst it's been all tumbleweedy. I'm like, they're here, they're back. Woo-hoo. Right, see you later. Bye. Bye.